Okay, we're live, and a good day, everybody. This is the Ecclesiarch here, back to you with some more Horus Heresy Legions. And, in a long time now, I can finally say that this is not the only content I'm putting out for HHL. But anyway, as always, I'm here with none other than Shad. So, Shad, what's going on?
Hello there, good to be back. I'm looking forward to this tournament. I like precog, it is a weird mechanic.
Yeah, it's actually a weirdly cool mechanic because unless it's like it can be super abusive while also being super interesting. So absolutely an interesting thing. Okay, Bruno and Eager, nice to see you boys. So Chad, as always, before the crew gathers up, let's discuss our own cards and then we'll move on, right?
All right, well, there's mine. Go for it.
Brazen Gladiators. First of all, I really like the art. I'm not sure where you got that, but I love how it's actually a great gladiator with the helmet. That is very cool. So World Eater, obviously, which is a big surprise. Probably not a lot of people expect precog on a World Eater. That's plus points for me for sure. So 4 energy, 5/3 flank. Okay, that's around what a cool flanker, around the stats of a cool flanker. I like it. So you got 1 energy to choose first strike, frontline, or precog. Gain that ability until your next turn and can act again. And hello, Tortir and Transcend. So at 4 energy, this is just a, nothing special, just a typical flank unit. You drop it, it flanks into something, and it just blows up, right? Now, at 5 energy, it gets interesting. It's like a mini hunting eagle. At that stage, because you can use it with first strike, after which is probably going to get removed, or frontline in emergency situation, or precog just to save it for next turn. But the interesting thing is, for example, for 6 energy, you could make it a first strike and a precog, if I understood correctly, because you can keep using that ability over and over again. So this card is a serious threat at 6 energy. I would say it's a very interesting card. The only thing that kind of makes me worried is that at 6 energy, it seems like a better hunting eagle, because you would almost always probably choose first strike and precog. Otherwise, I like the idea behind it. Also, Jim, I have no idea yet. I would assume next week, my friend, is probably the time. I'm not sure yet, but I would expect it next week or the week after. So, yeah, that's what I think, Shad, about the card.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, to be honest. It's the balance, it's a bit too pushed. But then this is a very old design of mine that I dragged out of the archives. You can tell from the old World Eaters logo in the top left. But you are right. It is too well statted. I think on reflection, there are a couple of changes I could make to change it and make it more balanced. It could either go down to a 4/3, it could go up to 5 cost, or the ability could go up to 2 cost. But yeah, right now it is just better hunting eagles, like you said. I designed this back when World Eaters were legacy mode only and all that, and they were struggling. You basically just had the Khan aggro deck and everything else sucked. So I was like, I'm going to try and build a control tool to help them out a bit. The flavor behind the abilities is they're gladiators, so they have all kinds of bizarre, weird weapons that they can pull out and basically gain different abilities with. So, there's a shield for frontline, or precog would be them dancing away and keeping you away from them with like bladed whips and shit, spears, tridents, nets, all that sort of thing for first strike. But yeah, I still like the card, but I do think it's a bit too pushed. I was quite new to designing cards when I made it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I would like to address the flavor as well. Some people did point out quite rightly that it's not a great example because the precog is strangely flavored, because precognition in this game usually refers to a literal precognition, so a character that can see blows coming, and that's why you can't hit them. Brazen Gladiators here, it's more of a parrying flavor, and that's not really what precog is typically used for. So I understand the confusion and I kind of agree with them. So I apologize for that, anyone who called me out in that in the comments. You had some points. Anyway.
All right, let's go to mine then.
All right, Lemuel Gaumon, a 2 energy 1/3 epic Thousand Suns infantry. I believe the first infantry, if it was added. Nice art, by the way. Don't know where you found that. Is it AI generated?
Nah, that's AI. That's AI.
Yeah, I thought so. He is a Remembrancer with Psycho 1, Precognition, and an ability. Spend 1 psychic, choose a card in the enemy hand. If it is played before your next turn, gain 5 psychic. Otherwise, Lemuel takes 3 damage. Oof. That's Yeah, so you don't get to fuck that up more than once unless you buff him in some way. I quite like it, honestly. I don't know if it'd be good. It's a bit of a gamble, isn't it? So you play him, but then he can just sit there and power you up slightly if you want. So it's not like a huge. I actually really quite like this card. Yeah, he's very cool. I would enjoy having this in the game.
Yeah.
The only problem I have formatting wise is you put the one psychic ability right next to the precog, which makes it look very messy. But
there's also one on the precog to the left. That's also a little bit of a problem.
That's probably because it's on the same line as the one psychic energy. I would guess it's probably what broke it. But yeah, no, just stick it down and it will be fine. It shouldn't be capitalized, but I think that's it. And then no colon after the one psychic energy cost. But yeah, it's a cool card. This is probably one of my favorites you've ever made, actually.
Yeah, this is the flavor of this is Lemuel Gaumon or Prometheus. Spoilers, basically. He was a remembrancer that found out that he had psychic abilities back during like the Thousand Suns book. And he was gifted, I think, in divination, so hence the flavor. And every time he does a correct divination, he gives you psychic power, as in he's learning. Every time he fails, well,
he goes pop.
Ariman gets to spank him. So that's basically the idea. Yeah,
I do like the idea that you can buff him though, and he can survive one wrong guess, which is quite fun. I like that.
Yeah, maybe you played this with the mission mostly, so it's
yes, I would play it in the mission. Yeah, but again, if you can buff him in some way with what's it, Quick Blood? Oh wait, is Quick Blood still in? No, that was a legacy mode.
Yeah,
card,
that's a legacy mode card. Yeah,
but there are other health buffs in the faction these days, so there are ways it could happen. So yeah, you could survive. I like that. Very interesting.
All right,
on to the real cards.
Okay,
the people that are allowed to win.
Thousand Suns right off the bat. And you got none other than Baleq Uthizzar, Magister Templi of the is it Athenians or Athenians?
I would say Athenians, but it could be either.
Right?
Yeah,
I think so too. So yeah, this is 4 energy 3/3 precognition, Psyker 1. Players can't play more cards than this troop's health each turn. Oh my.
Oh, I love that.
That is very interesting, to be honest. Oh,
perfectly statted as well. Look at it, because it's it starts off at 3, and your opponent might damage it and interact with it in some way. But if they don't, it'll hit them in the face and drop the limit down to 1.
I gotta say, cool. The art is splendid. I mean, flavor kind of makes sense as well. So he is one of the Athenians, which makes him.
They were the telepaths, right?
Telepathy experts, basically. So precognition absolutely makes sense there. Hello, Ozzy. Yes, it sure does. So yeah, this is actually pretty interesting. And plus, since it's telepathy, it's messing with you, basically, getting in your head. I
really like this. Yeah. No, this is really. It doesn't even feel that toxic either, because if it's at full health, where it's hard to randomly AOE it or kill it with an ability. 3 cards, you can work with that. And if it's down to 1 health after it's bashed you in the face, then, just a sneeze will finish it off. If you don't need a huge, complicated setup to murder it. So, yeah, that's amazingly well balanced for its abilities and its cost.
Yeah, plus what I really like about this one, I'm going to say, is that it affects you as well. So you can't really go around saying that, is that broken, because Thousand Suns don't really benefit that much from limiting the card amount of cards played, because they got psychic powers. Especially if we mean like the legacy ones. So very interesting overall. I have
one thing I might say, it might even be a little weak. Maybe it should. You need to keep the 3 health, because that is the perfect break point for the ability you've made. But maybe up to 4 attack, just balance it a little bit. Or Psyker 2, because he's Magister Templi after all.
I think Psyker 2 could be good. Yeah, he needs to have more Psyker, because he's a serious one. So
yeah, well, but yeah, cool, very cool card, very cool.
By the way, he didn't deserve the fate he got. By the way, so yeah.
I actually don't remember what happened to him, and I have read those books.
I'll tell you, it's so stupid in a different sense. He basically finds out that Magnus is pulling the "oh, I'm a bad boy and I had to get punished" card. So Magnus is like, "oh, you cannot tell everybody about this," and he just vaporizes him. So yeah, fuck Magnus.
Brutal.
Yeah, that sucks.
Alright.
Anyway, amazing card, super.
The Impossible Fortress, Seat of Tzeentch. 4 energy, legendary 1/6 chaos structure, and neutral. Can't attack, precognition. Both players can only play 1 card per turn. That's interesting. Similar ideas coming right next to each other.
That's very interesting.
So I like that it's neutral. So you can play it in a lot of different styles of deck, and it would slow the game down a little bit. It's very big and hard to remove. I feel like this would be quite unfun to play against. I feel like this would be better as like a cheaper but easier to kill effect, like a 2 energy 1/3 maybe. But yeah. Otherwise, it's pretty much fine. And I don't know if I like the flavor either, to be honest, because Tzeentch was all about plots and plans and incredibly complex, like weaving and trickery. This feels more like a Korn effect, weirdly. Like, he was the one who was like, no, unga bunga, straight to point, bash face, none of this bullshit contingency plan thing. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't like it as much as I like Baleq Uthizzar's take on the same idea.
I would have to, like, I agree completely with what you're saying. I like this one better. It's basically the same card in a way, so it's just that Baleq Uthizzar is like more well designed. However, I have to say that I would also see how Tzeentch goes in flavor here, because technically speaking, he also fucks with your head, so he also likes to do that. Plus, an interesting part to this is that it's not only Thousand Suns, which is now pretty interesting. And hello, Raziel. No, Raz, you're on time because we only had 2 cards. We had Baleq Uthizzar, and now we're discussing the Impossible Fortress. So, yeah, overall, I would say not bad for sure. Interesting, again. I like the idea of this overall. I would just say that I like the previous one better. It's a contest, so I just gotta put it out there. Yeah. Otherwise, good card though. I kind of like it. Maybe wrap down the health a little bit because it's a little bit too annoying this way. So yeah.
Right, meme cards.
Okay, I mean maybe. Oh my god. Okay, what the hell? Okay, so what is this? 8 energy Angela Cottonmouth. First strike, rally, add to your deck 88 copies of Trisha Takanawa 88. Draw infantry cards from your deck until your hand is full. And Angela has precognition as long as you have other infantry. Okay, in most cases, when we have these types of things, we say that the meme cards are really good. But, oh my god, in this case, no, man. That's crazy.
This is kind of interesting. It's using the MTG effects a bit. No, the Hearthstone effects you can actually do with digital card games. It's kind of like Relentless Rats and all that. But yeah, I don't know. I could see it if you gave it the flavor of like a death cult assassin temple leader, perhaps, or something.
I mean,
you might have a niche for it. 88 is obviously a bit much. They're just doing it for the meme, but
in Hearthstone they did have a similar thing with the Raptors or something. I
remember.
Right?
Yeah, it was the Hunter mission, wasn't it? The Hunter Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, it's flavor's obviously fucked. But yeah. Good reference, though. I've seen that episode. Also, side note, Quentin Tarantino, massively overrated director. Fuck that guy. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, before the comment section blows up, let's move on.
Before they eviscerate me.
Okay, there's another meme. Okay, check it out.
Donation imbalance. 235, 1 energy, pays for the Battle Pass premium, gives the commander precognition for the Everguild developers, game balance changes. Yes, we're aware. No one liked Cargill. I don't really play Standard very much anymore. I actually didn't run into him, not even once. I couldn't tell you how busted he was or wasn't.
I just didn't play when it came out. Just wait for the nerf. Surprisingly, it came in 3 days. Maybe all the pressure there was from all the community. Maybe that worked. So
no, I'm just imagining the single lone Everguild developer just got an email through and went, "Oh shit! Right, Horus Heresy that still exists."
Oh my god!
Better do a balance pass.
Okay, let's move on. Now for the real one. Flesh Change, okay. 1 energy, epic card. Remove precognition from oh, look at this, and give it +2 attack. Focus 2. Return this card to your hand and increase its cost by 1 until the end of the turn. This is so interesting. This would be a very cool concept with the old Ahriman, because Ahriman could technically make such cool combos with this. Maybe possibly could also make like a one-shot combo, but I'm not even going to complain about that, because if you remember, Shad, Thousand Suns used to have that with Baleq Uthizzar.
You can do it now anyway in legacy mode, so yeah, it's not hard.
Yeah, this is actually pretty interesting. So it brings such a unique thing. You're removing precog instead of actually giving it, and you're not removing it from an enemy. You're removing it from your own troop. I actually quite like it.
I like the idea, but it is very poorly implemented because it doesn't specify when it loses precog or something like that. So you can, in theory, the way that it's worded, you can just hit any troop with this. It doesn't have to actually already have precog. So
yeah, but
that's probably not intended. Yes, but
yeah, it says remove precognition, right? So
yeah, but you would just target a unit and it would lose precognition if it has it, and then give it +2 attack, which is probably not intended, but the way it's worded, that's how it would function.
I mean, technically speaking, maybe you could. It is just to give 2 attacks so that it's not absolutely necessary to have precognition on it, and it's just a buff. But plus on top, if you have a precog, it just removes it, so you can just target a normal troop with this as well. Plus, you can't target your warlord, so no cheesing. I think maybe that is actually how it's supposed to be implemented, and I quite like it, actually.
Yeah, it's probably meant to be that you can only target precog troops with it, but I don't know. It's messy. The focus 2 is fine. That is also a messy worded ability, though, because it says it means return this card to your hand permanently, I think, but I think it also means only increase its cost by 1 this turn, and that's not properly conveyed. The way it's worded right now, it's like it either increases the cost permanently, or
I mean, technically speaking, isn't that good though?
Well, no, because if it's the other way round, then it will just keep on increasing in cost. It'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 until it's unplayable, and like it's already not an amazing card at 1 energy.
No, so what I mean is like this. Doesn't this kind of balance it so that you can't do it a gazillion times during your turn? Because
sure, it balances it, but like, well, they're not really though, because like 2 psychic for 2 damage. I mean, it's not a bad rate, but it's not an amazing rate either, really, is it?
I mean, at first it's 1 energy, 2 damage. It's like quick fire.
Like even if you just gave this, even if you just gave this, what is it, reflection, it probably wouldn't be that bad. Right. Well, no, I suppose you'd be able to spam it for like 1 damage.
You would just target your warlord and have 20 damage on it, so that's not a good idea.
It would be quick fire on steroids. Yeah, no, that's scratch that. But the point is that right now it's just very poorly worded in a lot of places and makes it unclear what it's supposed to be. Oh, it's a psychic power as well. I just noticed that. That's interesting. So you can generate it and get synergies.
I don't know. I think what it's supposed to do in general, this is my take on it. I think what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to buff a unit. If you have precog, it just removes it because, well, you're mutating and you're becoming a drooling monster. And I think the focus 2 is pretty good in the sense that you can reuse it later, but it makes sure that you don't abuse it this turn. I have to disagree on this one. I quite like it.
I don't dislike the idea. I just dislike the implementation. It's very poorly worded.
Fair enough. I could follow you on that one. Glimpse the End. It's a common card. Wouldn't you be surprised with this? Okay.
Right. Glimpse the End. 2 energy, a common. My god, we barely ever get those. We're very classist here. It is a 2 energy chaos tactic. Give a troop precognition and resolution. Take 4 damage. That is very cool because of the mobility or the utility of it. Because obviously it's any troop. It doesn't necessarily mean just yours. You can use this as pseudo removal, or you can use it to safeguard one of your own pieces, although it'll have to be quite beefy to survive, obviously. Yeah, it's just very cool. It would be, I would say it's be good with Alpha Legion, but realistically, 2 energy to deal 4 to a troop, and you have to combo it. Probably not that great. I don't know. I feel like this could be 1 energy. Call me crazy, but I like the idea. It's very interesting use of mechanics.
I mean, 1 energy, 4 damage, but then again, they can act. So yeah, well, yeah, this could be 1 energy. Yeah, I actually think this is a nice design. Very flexible.
the resolution also needs quotation marks around it to,
We do need more
take
protection
damage.
cards in this game anyway, because, I mean, one of the things I dislike about EG games is how difficult and impossible it is for something to stick on the board. So
Right.
this is a good
Yeah.
way to implement that without it being
Well,
absolutely batshit broken.
this is one of the problems with power creep as a concept, because the more powerful each individual card becomes, the less you can afford to let something stick. So if something, like, I don't know, if a fucking, what is it, that new Murmur card, or Sex Demon, or Hunting Eagles, or whatever the fuck, one of those stays on the board for a turn, you can't play into it. You will just throw your tempo and your energy and your cards down the drain, essentially. And it's the same with like really powerful relentless cards, which is why they're so impossible to balance as a faction and a mechanic. And it's the same with active abilities and siege and attrition, all of these snowbally pack mechanics. And the more they push them, the worse it gets.
So
Rant's over.
So the Janitor New Fight 21 said a very interesting thing here. Any cards have resolution and shield. That's so interesting. You could slap it on the Immortals for Iron Hands. It could be fun.
that could work. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But what happens with the ordering? You'd have to be very careful to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
No. I think because it tracks it off the troop, so the troop entered before the ability was given to it. So
car would
it will
love
always
this.
go first. Yeah, it'll always go first.
Closest car would love this, right?
Castus, it wouldn't actually have synergy with Probaxis, because Probaxis's pride would trigger first, and then the resolution would trigger.
Makes sense.
Sorry, ruining is fun. Anyway, so where we at? Your Commander Mhotep, yours, I believe.
Ooh, Mhotep, that guy from the Most Terrible Book. But he was a cool character, though. Okay, I mean, the character is really cool, but the book is terrible. So, Mhotep, Commander of the Waning Moon. 5 energy, 2/6. Oh, okay. Psyker 2. Vantage. With 3 psychic power, you can deal 4 damage to an enemy. If the target dies, you gain precognition until your next turn. Now, it's very interesting to see a Thousand Sun with Vantage. You don't get a lot of those. The stats are, I would say, okay, because, you know what? I would even say the HP can go down a little bit, because I think you will always have 3 Psyker during that turn. It's good that it doesn't pay for itself. It only pays for itself with the Warlord, so you're not gaining any more Psyker for anything else, so it's not too abusive. The only thing I kind of dislike about this, I think it's a good concept, it's a cool idea. The thing that I kind of dislike about it, however, is that its HP, I think, is a little too high. What do you think?
It's funny that I just did that rant about how leaving active abilities on the board this dangerous and this powerful will cause snowballing effects, and basically you can't afford to leave cards on the board. This is a great example of that, because, like, look at what this does. It comes down, it kills something for 4, and then you can't even interact with it, really. It's not even so big and chunky that you can afford to spend hard removal on it, because you've got to save that for really big, heavy troops. You can't waste it on a 5 energy mid troop. Like, compare this to Corvan Squad from the Iron Hands in Legacy mode now. That was the gold standard for a long time. 5 energy, 4/4, rally, deal 3 damage. That was a good enough card. Probably still would be decent in today's formats. And this thing, arguably better stat line, Vantage, and reusable rally, essentially. It does more damage, and it gets protection for itself. No, this is disgusting. I say drop the damage of its ability down to 2 and drop its health to 5, and this would probably be acceptable.
Yeah, I think it just needs a nerf in stats and its abilities. Otherwise, it should be fine, I think.
Yeah, I like the use of Vantage, though, because Vantage should be a vanilla keyword, really. It basically is, because you do see it on neutrals, after all. They hadn't invented it yet, had they? Oh, wait, no, Iron Warriors Predator, Thousand Suns, they did have it around, they just didn't want to use it. Ugh. Yeah, it's perfectly worded, though. The art is great, although it is cropped badly. I can see a little white bar at the bottom, and the top, actually. But, otherwise it's perfectly made. So, yeah, well done on the wording, and well done on the art choice.
Yeah, art is beautiful as well.
Too strong and toxic. Anyway,
Oh,
Rotten Bastion. 5 energy, 1/5 chaos epic structure. The warp protected stronghold. As counterattack, of course, because it's a structure. Precognition. All other troops have sentenced 1 and poison 1. Huh. That's interesting.
oh, that's actually very interesting.
That causes weird interactions, though, because I don't know how that interacts with additional poison. Because the way it's worded right now, it seems to imply that they have poison 1 and they will always have poison 1 at minimum. So, like, what happens if you layer more poison on top of that? Does the poison 1 passive override it and you can't get more? Or, yeah, I don't know. I like the flavor of it, but it's a bit mechanically weird. Maybe it should just be like a resolution ability. Give all other troops poison 1, maybe. Something like that. I don't know. Well, what's the flavor of this, by the way? Do you know where this is from, Teach?
I don't remember, unfortunately. I've been rereading most of the books lately, but this doesn't come to mind. But I mean,
it might be like a 40k-ish thing because the Nurgle's Garden has existed forever, basically. So it's kind of similar to the Castle of Change or whatever it was that the Tzeentch card was. Similar idea, actually. Yeah, building that can't be approached because it's in the warp makes sense.
it's cool that it works 2 ways.
Yeah, but it's unclear how it works. That's all.
Yeah, the problem with that is, yeah, that's pretty nasty. I kind of don't like it, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I don't like it because I think it just there were a couple of cases. I remember there were a couple of cases basically that we had in Hearthstone where you had these cards that fucks up both players, and although it can be funny, I'm not a big fan of it. But
well, the whole point is that you use symmetrical cards like that and make them unsymmetrical by building your deck specifically. So I do like the idea behind cards like that. It's just that one had some strange implementation, so it's unclear. Anyway, yeah, I think over to your next one.
Sure. Librarian, huh? That's pretty simple.
Good name.
So, 3 energy, 2/4, Survivor 1. That's a Salamander stat line right there. Rally, deal 1 damage to an enemy troop. If the target dies, choose. Give precognition to the next troop you put in play until your next turn, or give precognition to a friendly troop until in play until your next turn. Now, one thing I'm just gonna say right off the bat is that this probably can't be coded. But again, it's EG's fault. I can see this working in Hearthstone, but with the spaghetti code, it's impossible. Most probably, how EG could do this is that if the target dies, you can choose to give precognition to the next troop you put in play. Sure, that works. Or give precognition to a random friendly troop in play. Because double choose doesn't work, right?
Well, I mean, technically they can't even do like conditional choose right now like that. So, yeah, it's the whole thing would be impossible. But it should be possible in a better coded game. So we won't hold them too much against them for that. My main problem with it doesn't feel very Salamandery. The only thing that's Salamandery about it is Survivor 1.
I mean, it's a librarian, so I don't get why they chose to go with salamanders, but I mean, it's a librarian, so any psyker can kind of have a bit of divination, so I don't see how it couldn't happen. It's just that, flavor-wise, it doesn't feel specifically salamander.
Yeah, it could have been something like whenever you play an artifact, give a random friendly troop precognition until your next turn or something like that. That's how I'd do a librarian with a salamandery flavor.
Fair enough.
Or sacrifice, give your other units precognition until your next turn. So like a weird, janky Izakar Or from Thousand Suns.
Give me 1 second, I'm sorry.
So the librarian would have sacrifice, give precognition to your other units until your next turn. So it would be you have to sack him in order to get the Izakar Or effect, because that's the guy from Thousand Suns with the rally to give all of your units precognition. That thing was busted, but
I love Izakar.
Yeah, he is disgusting. But yeah. Also, the name is weird. Obviously, you can't just use a generic title like that. That's not how EG do things. They give specific titles.
I
You can make a name up. It
mean,
doesn't need to be, a standard librarian. You don't need to, troll through the books to find one that has a name. You can just make some shit up, But also, the name is centered when it shouldn't be. They just go from left to right. The art is good, though. His art is very good, although it is definitely Primaris, but that's fine. It looks like Mark IV. I'll let you off.
do you know where we do have the simple names?
Yeah?
Warforge.
No.
Oh god.
What?
Okay.
All right. Tell me, what do they call precognition in Warpforge?
We don't have that yet.
Oh, lucky you. One thing Warpforge is doing better than Pathstone. Than
wait till they add it, chat, because most of the abilities are already making in. So
Right.
Okay. So Cabal's Acuity is yours.
Ooh, great name. Zero Energy, Alpha Legion Common Tactic. Another common. Wow. Give precognition to a friendly troop until your next turn. Short, simple, sweet. Acceptable? I don't know. This feels a bit strong at 0. Maybe 1. But then we have this effect at 2, and it's bad. So, yeah.
I mean, for 0, I think it's fair. Because at 2, we never use it.
Yeah, but at 0, you're going to just drop something massive and then make it uninteractable. No, maybe. I would enjoy having this in the game to play around with, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. Don't have much to say.
I think it's just good, and that's it. It's like an escape vent, basically.
It doesn't feel like a common. That's one thing I'll give it. Like, precog is already a weird mechanic that shouldn't be a common, really. And then it's also a 0 energy card with a very minimal minor effect that new players will misuse because that's a common thing. So you don't put effects like that at common typically. But I do love the art used as well. That is one of my favorite pieces of art in 40k.
Yeah, that does look pretty awesome. Yeah, I'd say just a good card. That's it.
Yeah, I would say I still think it should be 1 energy. It's too much.
Might be a little too much, yeah. Because unlike Escape Vent, it's kind of uninteractable.
I like the flavor as well, actually. The Cabal obviously being the psychic element that's adding to it, because obviously Alpha Legion typically use stealth to represent their covert operations, but adding in a group of alien psychers, that's perfect justification for precog.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Zermauth, Librarian of the Order, Zermal, basically. So 4 energy, 2/4, precognition, resolution, transform another. Oh my god!
Hello. Which one's Magron Veterans? That's the 5 energy 4/6, right?
Yeah, that's too strong.
Woof.
You know what? Make this a 2/2, and it could work.
Oh, I have another slight issue with it as well. It should be another random friendly infantry, because right now it can constantly retransform the same Magron.
Oh yeah,
but that's a very cool ability.
Yeah, I actually like it. I just think maybe just fix that so that it's infantry, and maybe put down the HP a little bit, and it's so cool because it gives you that more interaction with Caliban Jägers. It's just that you don't want to make this too hard to remove, right? So
yeah, I'd say a 2/3 would probably be fine.
Yeah. 2/3 could be okay. For sure.
Maybe 1/3, yeah. But I love the flavor and the mechanics. Slight spelling issue as well. You've spelt Zermauth differently on both of the names, so yeah. Otherwise, it's perfectly worded.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, technically you don't need the full stop after precognition, but that's like a thing that EG are not consistent with. So I'm not gonna get angry about that. Art's great as well. Just a good card generally.
Right. Yeah, I guess Zermal cooked. So there you go. Okay, awesome, nice. I like that. I like that.
All right.
Oh, look at the art though. Your turn.
Moment of Clarity, 1 energy, World Eater's Tactic, rare. Give precognition and can't attack to your friendly units with Berserk until your next turn. This is I made a card like this. I wonder if this was inspired by it, because I made this a very long time ago. It was my version of this. It was give can't attack to a target friendly unit until your next turn. Draw a card. It was a cantrip, so it's just you could use it to restrain a Berserk unit if you wanted to for a turn. But this one's a similar take without the cycling, but the precog is interesting. So, yeah, it's... I don't know. Honestly, I think it would be kind of busted is the problem, because...
You can just
don't
attack and use it.
Well, yes, but also you don't even really need to like lose anything either, because what you can do is just drop a board of berserkers and then give precognition to them.
There's
Also, it's units, so it'll precog your friendly warlord as well, which is made to act like a really powerful precog tool. So yeah, too powerful.
This is too powerful because, like, if we think that the Cabal Acuity is powerful, but this is too much because this gives to everything. Yeah. And also the can't attack doesn't matter because you just attack and then use it and until your next turn. So basically the can't attack never affects you. So I think what you do with this is you give it can't attack until the end of your next turn.
Yeah, that would work. That would also prevent the abuse case where you just drop them and then precog them so that they can't be interacted with before they get to attack. Yeah, that would help.
Yeah, otherwise, because it's not even a negative side, because
even with that change, though, I still think it should cost more as well. Make 2, maybe 3 energy, because it's just that is a lot of protection. It's board wide.
Yeah, the art is beautiful, of course.
It is. Yeah, is that a Space Marine 3 render? No, that is art, isn't it? Well, it kind of looks like a render.
I think it's supposed to
very
be
nice art, though.
I think it's supposed to be Karn, right?
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Look, he's got the arm with no armor on it. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, plus he's got the gun and the war child. So yeah.
Well, how's that for a flavor fail then? Because neither of the Khans have berserk for some stupid reason.
One quick thing. We got some new arrivals.
Hypno Marine says can't attack can be used to prevent attacking. Yeah. So, right. Yeah, I thought you said can't. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, but
first off, Grim Dark Tavern, thank you for dropping in, guys. You can check out Grim Dark Tavern's channel. Make some awesome music. We also got Perfido Sabueso de Guerra. Welcome, my friend. I didn't see you until now. And Yobachidu, if you wish to participate, there is a card creation app on the Discord, or you can just text me on Discord and I'll let you know. So there's a special card maker that you can use to make cards. Okay.
Yeah, Perfide, we actually did that a long time ago, so it might be time to bring it round for another round. But we did one of the contests was a warlord for a faction, then it had to be fighting for the opposite side. So like a World Eaters one would have to be a loyalist character, and its mechanics and its flavor would reflect that, or a Raven Guard traitor, etc., etc. It's maybe it's time to bring that one back out for another whirl. You know, it's been like a year now, I think. We can start doing a few resets, bring back the greatest hits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Me next, I believe?
Yes.
Right. Vhashtav Arabi. 6 energy, 5,000 Sons Astartes. Rare. The Corvidae Bladesman. When another unit gains precognition, gain +1/0 and precognition until your next turn. Focus 4. Give precognition to your warlord until your next turn. Do you spot the problem here?
Okay, so let me reread that. So when another unit gains precognition, give +1 and precognition. So
you spotted the problem.
Okay, so here's the thing. First of all, so when another unit gains precognition, whenever something gains a precognition, you gain the attack and you gain precognition until your next turn. And if you focus, you give it to your warlord until your next turn, which means that then yours automatically triggers. Wait a minute, where's the problem? I'm missing something.
The problem is it's a rare, which means you can have 2 copies of it. That's the hint.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty sick.
It goes infinite. In fact, it would cause a draw because it would infinitely trigger and you'd never get a chance to attack. Although, if you charitably interpreted it, it might mean whenever a unit gains precognition for the first time each turn, so it doesn't infinitely trigger itself. Yeah, that's probably the intent, but that's not the way it's worded.
Yikes!
Yeah, great art though. So we'll interpret it as it was intended. So it's precognition tribal, which is pretty interesting. Honestly, I just don't think I like it gaining precognition itself. That's the only thing I don't like. It feels kind of toxic then, because it's very hard to interact with. Having it be like a payoff for precognition and being able to precog your warlord as well, that feels fair and quite, fun to build around. Oh, yeah, that would be my only change.
This is kind of like a mini Zakar War, to be honest.
Kinda, but it doesn't precog itself. Well, this one does precog. It shouldn't precog itself, but it does. It has the potential to get bigger too, but it's a 6/6 and it costs you psychic, so it is worse, objectively speaking, than Issachar Ore, which is good because Issachar Ore is disgusting. That's too powerful, so you shouldn't balance to that. So I don't know, is it balanced? It's more the fact that it can continuously precog itself that makes me worried. Otherwise, I really like this card.
Fair enough. I think so too. Reword it and it's more interesting. It's less abusive than Issachar War, that's for sure. So
yeah, that's true. Right. Yeah, I do like it. Anyway, yours, I believe, then?
Epistolary Saradas. So we got Fire Wing. Nice. So they're adding a new wing. 6
Nice,
energy,
yeah.
3/4. Precognition. Quest. Jam all enemy troops and deal 2/3 damage to all enemies. Ooh, so basically... Okay, I got a little bit of a problem with this one. I'll tell you what it is. Since it's precognition, in your quest, you are going to what you're going to do is that you're always going to choose the tactic.
Well, you can also choose deal damage to the enemy warlord, but yeah, it makes one of the quest choices completely irrelevant. That is true. So it feels like some very strange mechanics going on there.
I think the problem with this is that it makes one irrelevant because you're never going to be attacked by an enemy troop, right? So I mean, I mean, you could still choose it, but the thing is, you most probably either want tactics or just attacking the enemy warlord.
It will never trigger, will it? I think the only way it could would be through disorient. So there would be.
I do like the fact that it is understated as hell because it has a cool ability.
It feels very Firewing, doesn't it? Because that is exactly how they function. So, like, kudos on the flavor; it's perfect. It's the mechanics feel a little jank in combination. But yeah, I do love it. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
This is probably from Cross, and he's a big Dark Angel fan. So
I wish they would add the remaining 3 wings. That would be a super cool thing for them to do with the next Dark Angel. So expansion.
We got Iron Wing, we got Fire Wing, and what is the last one we're missing?
Storm Wing.
Storm Wing. Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it feels like it needs a second pass. Also, the art, stick that through a filter. But yeah, nice model though. Whoever painted that, very well done.
Probably we're gonna get Fire Wing and Storm Wing and Iron Wing in the next expansion.
Honestly, I doubt it. I don't think we will because I don't think EG are that creative or that willing to take risks anymore. I think we'll just get a redux of the 3.
Fair enough.
Sorry. Yeah. One other thing as well. It's the randomized damage. I don't know. I just don't agree with randomized damage in 9 times out of 10. Like, there's no need for it.
That's fine.
But yeah, it's a cool card.
Absolutely.
All right.
Unpredictable Assault. It's yours.
Right. 6 energy. Another Disciples of Caliban. Sorry, Defenders of Caliban card. Tactic. Interest good because we've got mostly units. All enemy units deal 2 damage to its adjacent units. Probably not worded properly. They lose precognition and stealth. Okay, that's pretty interesting. It's like AoE. It's weird AoE that also is anti-stealth, but it's gonna be pretty good AoE. It's definitely gonna hurt the enemy warlord. That's 4 damage burned to the face most of the time. So, pretty cool.
And 6 energy, so.
Yeah. And then it's gonna at least do 2 damage to both troops on either side of the warlord, and you're not gonna play it unless there's the troop on both sides of the warlord, are you? So, you know. Yeah, it feels pretty fair, honestly.
Yeah, nothing too strong about it. It's just nice control card.
Obviously, the wording's a bit crap, but like, you know, that's just spelling issues. All enemy units deal 2 damage to units adjacent to them. Should be the way that should be worded. Adjacent with a J. Then all enemy units lose precognition. In fact, I just word it. All enemy units lose precognition and stealth, then deal 2 damage to units adjacent to them. It's the easiest way to word it.
I just think it's good.
It's an interesting idea. It does feel like a Defenders of Caliban card. However, Primaris art detected. Hiss. Well, no.
Nothing gets past your eyes, right?
Oh, I hate Primaris so much as a concept, but yeah, no.
So do I.
Yeah, it's If any faction was able to get away with weird Primaris art, though, it would be Defenders of Caliban, wouldn't it? So, I guess we can let them off.
All right, moving on. Ooh.
Yeah.
Tense a Plasma Nebula. So this is a tactic for the Imperial Guard. Epic. 2 energy. Give precognition to 3 random friendly troops until your next turn. Draw a card. So, this is an AoE precog with a card draw. It is random though, but in most cases, probably you want to use this on 2 units or 1 unit or so on. Now, for all things considered, we have a 2 energy precog card in the game, and it's never used. It can be used on the Warlord first of all, so that's the thing. You know what I think? I'll tell you a funny thing. Even if it was just give precognition to a unit and draw a card, it would already be an amazing card, right? Because like if you can target a unit and it's troops. Sorry, it's troops.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's fair. Honestly,
I think it's a little strong.
On troops only. Like, when are you realistically gonna have 3 troops to do this though?
Well, he doesn't need to hit all 3. Even just the fact that you give precog and it cycles, like, you're not paying card at disadvantage for this. And if you can hit it on 3, like, imagine this with Space Wolves. You land 3 of them, throw down the Nebula. Your opponent's like, oh no, I guess I can't do anything except build up a board, and they just flank into them and all the pack abilities
it's
go
Alexis
off.
Nebula, right? Alexis Nebula.
Yeah, better Alexis Nebula. But it's just too much for what it does. Honestly, I'll up it to 3 energy and I'd like it.
I think
this should require setup. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think 3 energy would be fair. I'll be honest, I kind of love it. I
do wish more effects like this existed in the game. It's just this one is too aggressively costed.
Maybe 3 energy, yeah. 3 energy because we have had a lot of these things like Sons of Prospero, basically, right? So it got ramped up to 3 instead when it was 2. You remember? Because basically for 2 it was too strong, right? Maybe 3 energy, and this would be very cool.
Yeah, or you could just remove the card draw, but that would probably not be. It would still just
keep
be
it
gross,
cool.
wouldn't
it? If Sons of Prospero could give you 2 HP on top, I think draw is fair with this one.
Sons of Prospero is a fucking terrible designed card though, because it's so toxic. It either does nothing or it murders you. Like, you just can't come back from that. Sorry. Anyway, my mate Zach said that he has a late submission or something. I don't know if you can.
I already took it.
Feeling generous?
I took it. It was on time basically. He made it in the last seconds. It's just you gotta refresh the thing, Shad.
Right. Of course.
Yep. I'm gonna open that up. By the way, yeah, this was a cool card. Maybe 3 cost, and it's amazing. Okay, Masteral Abaya, sorcerer. Okay, 5 energy for 6,000 suns. Oh, this is yours. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Well, you got halfway through. Sorcerer, focus 2, gain precognition until your next turn. Resolution: draw a card, reduce its cost by the number of times you triggered Arcana this turn.
I think it's... Ooh. What do you think? I'm giving this to you first.
I kind of like that it incentivizes active abilities a bit more, but I don't know, it's one of those effects that seems cooler than it actually is, because all of these Arcana triggers, and all it's doing is drawing you a card and discounting it. And all of that hard work can go away and do nothing if you draw like a 1 or 2 energy Astartes, or heaven forbid a drilling site. So it's like a really cool idea that it needs another pass. The resolution needs to be improved. Like the concept is good, caring about the number of Arcana triggers. That's really interesting. It's just what he did with it was not interesting. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that the issue with this card mostly is that you probably won't play it because it's a cool concept, but it's too slow for a game like HHL. Otherwise, the concept is nice.
Oh, balance-wise,
there's another problem I have with this. Why doesn't it have Psyker at all?
This is true. Well, it's got precog, and you need to set it up a bit, I suppose. But yeah, it's fine. It does draw a card after all.
Yeah,
So
it's not exactly about the. Oh, by the way, Igor, I didn't answer you. I'll answer you in a couple of moments. But like the thing that I got here is the problem that I got here. What is the problem I got? Problem is that like a card like this with precognition just to draw cards,
ooh.
I think it should just give you psychic energy as well. I don't know.
Yeah, Raziel is correct. It also is disgusting with Ammerman because you can scry the top card that you want and then discount it. So that's fun. But yeah, I still don't think it like redeems the card. It's still relatively kind of meh. Nicholas Barrick, yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. There is a lot of combination of a lot of very powerful things, but the thing is, the game's kind of moved past the point where you can just get by on being a good value piece. It's kind of like Hearthstone. Hearthstone used to have Azure Drake, which was very powerful, and then it stopped being powerful because the game became more about rushing your opponents down and murdering them quickly before they can, grind you out. And then it got so weak that they actually buffed it back to its original pre-beta state, and it was still unplayable. And it was just a value piece in a game that doesn't care about value anymore. That's where Hearthstone is.
Let's actually put it like this. Yeah. I think that it might be weak for the current HHL, but in terms of design, I think it's really well balanced and it's really interesting. I would even say this is one of my favorite submissions. But for HHL,
I disagree.
It's not good.
It's not interesting. I disagree. It's not interesting. That's the problem. I think it's had the potential to be really interesting, but the final conclusion is not interesting. So that's my problem with it.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I do like it. So I just gotta say,
yeah.
But yeah, okay, right. Fair enough. Okay, wait.
So, what are the contenders? Oh yeah. One
of the contenders. What?
I was gonna say, what are the contenders? Oh, are there more submissions? Apologies.
No. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
No, what I just wanted to say is that I still kind of do find it interesting. It's good to see that kind of an Arcana interaction. I would have to disagree on it not being interesting. Otherwise, I think it might be a little weak. And not because it's bad designed. It's just because Horus Heresy Legions is currently shit because of that, because everybody ends the game at turn 5, so there you go.
It's built on busted legendaries, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
But yeah, it's well balanced. It doesn't make me go, oh, that shouldn't exist, but it also doesn't make me go, oh, that would absolutely break the game. So in theory, that's correct. Yeah, it's right in the middle. Okay. Yeah, Nicholas, it's not bad. It disappoints me because it could be amazing, because it's a really cool idea that I haven't seen anyone play around with yet. Yeah.
So, what are some of your favorites, Chad?
Oh, I know it was the first one, but I really like Baleq Uthizzar.
Uthizzar, sure. It's also one of my favorites. I like the art. I like the stat line. I like the ability. I think it's really cool. I'll tell you what are my favorites. This is one of my favorites. Other one definitely has to be Glimpse the End. Super cool.
Yeah. It's on my list too. Yep, I like Glimpse the End.
Okay, what else? Let me think about it. So those are like some of my favorites, but I also have to say, I don't care, Shad, I like Abaya.
That's okay.
I like it. I also like the Flesh Change.
I don't like that one.
I do like Epistolary Saradas as well. It's pretty cool. It does have problems, but it's a good design. I also have to say, same goes for Zermauth.
I like Zermauth.
Zermauth is awesome. I still like Plasma Nebula, even though it needs an energy up, because again, we need those kind of cards in the game. I think.
It's just so busted for what it is at the moment, though. Yeah.
I mean, I think Cabal's Acuity is also simple and nice.
It's all right.
There's a lot of good submissions. Arabi is also good.
I was about to say I like Arabi, yeah. That's all my choices that I like personally. So we all have pretty much the same, yeah.
This is tough. There's a lot of good submissions because I also like Assault. I also, I like Mhotep as well, but he's way too busted for sure.
Yeah.
But I like it. I also would like Moment of Clarity, but currently it's stupid because the cat attack doesn't matter. It needs a rewording. Otherwise, the concept is amazing. Okay, here's my
Your pitch. Yep.
opinion in terms of the first place. In
Uh-huh.
terms of my first place, and I'll tell you why. I think it has to go to Uthizzar or it has to go to Glimpse the End. I'll explain why. So the thing with Uthizzar, so art is great. I think the stat wise, it's also great. It's not broken. It also brings a very interesting. It also gives a very interesting ability because this limiting the amount of cards and stuff, and your opponent can also play around it because if your opponent wants it to be two, maybe they try to pink this and like I don't know. It's a really cool card overall. I think the formatting is also good, right?
Yep. I can't see a problem with it. Yeah.
Same goes with Glimpse the End. Very interesting because that precognition and resolution. There's so many interactions that you can do with this. So many interactions, and Raziel makes a very good point. It's not just a card with precog slapped on it. It's such a good interaction with it
Yeah.
as
That's why I
well.
like both. I like both of those for that reason. I do agree.
These two are definitely on the top for me. I don't think it's a contest in terms of that. What do you
Yeah.
think?
No, I agree. I think Baleq takes first comfortably though still because Glimpse the End it's just a bit on the weaker side, whereas Baleq it's just a perfect design. It's so this is the thing. Glimpse the End is in theory cool, but without working with something, it's also just kind of limited because the damage is so high. You're not going to be able to actually use it to defend your own troops most of the time. They'll just die. They'll just be killed. And using it as weak removal is not very useful either for 2 energy. So I don't know. I feel like maybe it should be 1 energy and the resolution should be take 3. But yeah, I do like it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that pushes it down to second personally. Also, the rarity's wrong because it's a really weird effect, so that should not be a common. But that's a minor quibble. And I would personally put Vhashtav Arabi in third because I prefer it to Zermauth. Because Zermauth is cool, but it's a bit jank and
I
like
think the third
a bit
place is
random.
gonna have a tough discussion. But
Yeah, well, it could be Mastabal, it could be Dense Plasma Nebula as well. We could put that one to vote, honestly. But I personally think Baleq takes first, Glimpse
okay,
takes second.
honestly speaking, I think I'll also go for first with Baleq. I agree with you. And second with Glimpse. Those are by far my favorites as well.
Yeah,
Now,
I
for
agree.
third place, let's make some nominations. So
Yes.
you say Zermoth, and you also say
Arabi.
Arabi, right?
Yeah, I
Now,
like both.
you can see that I'm like the old person when I click refresh on a computer. So basically, let me see what other things I would put up there. You know what I'm
It's
gonna do?
yeah, I was gonna say it's Saradas, Plasma Nebula, and Abaya, isn't it?
Yeah. So Plasma
Sorry.
Nebula is definitely there. Abaya is
Yeah.
also there for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, Saradas is also there for me. So I I
But no, yeah.
I, I just gotta man, like
Yeah,
it's a
no.
thing.
Five is good. Five is good. There's a lot of good contenders for third place. I do agree. That's why we're putting it. We don't put it up to vote unless it's too hard to choose.
I mean I also like the Cabal Acuity, but I mean it's just simple and effective. Honestly, I think it's a little too strong. But in terms of like comparing it with Dense Plasma Nebula, I like Dense Plasma Nebula a little bit more. As you would say, Shad kind of sparks more joy. So
Yeah,
let's
that's true. The concept is cooler. I agree. All
So
right, but
here's
yeah,
the thing. I'm gonna stick two into one because otherwise, there's no way to make five answers in the poll. So third place. What are the names? Zermouth. Can you tell me the names, Shad? I kind of
oh, sure. Sorry. Zermauth, Arabi, Arabi.
Saradas
Yep.
and
Saradas.
Nebula slash. What is the other one?
Well, the other one's Abaya, but I mean,
Abaya.
I don't agree with that one personally.
Okay, so let's see what people vote on in this case, and there we might have a round two of that depending on the votes.
Oh, no, that's going to skew the math quite significantly. Don't you teach physics?
It's gonna skew the math, but
how are you so bad at probability? That doesn't work.
I'm not bad at probably. I'm just lazy.
Fair enough.
Plus, I mean, if you
horribly skews the math.
no, I mean, if more people like Nebula and Abaya, we'll see how it ends. Actually, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. The card that's gonna get the least votes is out, and then we're gonna redo it in 4. Easy.
Okay, yeah, that would work.
Oh, poor Zermauth. People don't like it.
I think it's because like the fix is quite obvious, which is make it only up transform infantry. Like if it didn't, that's the only problem with it.
I like Zermauth. I just think that in its current state it's too strong.
Yeah, and the fix is very obvious, but it's a cool idea.
Okay,
absolutely.
I think Zermauth gets kicked from the list, so we're gonna redo the poll. Sorry, Zermal, it's a cool card. I love it, but there you go. Okay, so Arabi, Nebula, Abaya, and
yeah, Abaya and Saradas. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
What was the hell was that? Avast and Type was stupid. Okay, so okay, now let's see what happens. And please, guys, if you're in the chat, just vote, okay?
Hey, I just noticed Abaya is labeled Sons of Magnus instead of Thousand Sons. That's interesting.
So Eager, I've been thinking of your question. So it's a kind of hard to answer, honestly. I've been having a tough time deciding on that. I'll have to think a bit about it. If you had said, yeah.
Sorry, Raziel had a point. Yeah, kind of, but we did analyze it based off its intent. In this case, all of the cards listed except for Abaya have some issue, really. So yeah. Sorry, yeah. You what was it? Sorry, was your question?
Yeah, no, like Eager was asking me like if I had a favorite anime, and I really don't know the answer to that. But if you were asking manga, I would definitely say Berserk.
Oh, okay.
No contest.
Oh, you don't care what my favorite anime is.
What is yours, Shaq?
Hunter x Hunter 2011.
I thought you were gonna say Boku no Pico.
Oh no, that's only on the weekends.
That's a good one.
I can't go into work if I rip my cock off. No.
Okay. Come on, guys. There's 20 of you in the freaking place. Just vote.
Yeah, before we start talking about Boku no Pico again. Yeah, no. So you don't really watch anime. You only read the manga.
I know I do, but I can't really just decide like that. Kind of hard. I like a lot of them. That's why. But in terms of manga, it's 100% Berserk.
Ooh, I'd probably have to go with One Punch Man if it was the manga, specifically the redraw, not the original webcomic, because one is a good writer but a terrible artist.
In terms of the anime, Igor, Vinland Saga definitely for sure.
That's
over Berserk.
That's a good choice.
That's a great one. Okay, Arabi it is. Apparently, people have spoken.
Hey!
People have spoken. Okay. Yeah, honestly, pretty cool submissions overall. God, I would give like third place to all of them, to be honest. So good.
That's part of the fun, isn't it? They're having to actually choose at the end.
Oh god, that's pretty cool. Nope says third place again. Blessing or a curse.
Oh, brutal. Sorry, man.
It was Igor's curse back in the day, always getting second place, I think. But now I think he got first place this time. I think that was his.
Is that his card?
Number one. I'm not sure. Yeah. But you do. I think you gotta do it through Photoshop.
Oh, yeah. There is a way to do it, but it's very clunky. I've been meaning to actually try and organize a folder that just you would like drag and drop in with all of the new updates and icons and all that, because the guy who makes Captured Forge has been AFK for like a year now, so we're not getting another update. I don't think he's busy. He's doing other things. I think he's a real game dev now, so fair enough.
Well, in any case, guys, that was pretty cool. I'm gonna give you that. So we're gonna send the petition for the rewards now. Thank you, and we'll have the next tournament topic tomorrow already. So thanks a lot, and be seeing ya. Have a good day.